I
not,
don't care if
that's
you.
not fair.
Now we both.
hurt.
Now we both.
Don't say you don't care because you just said Boston lost because of them being hurt. That's how you started the conversation. Now, so injuries do play a part.
I didn't say it didn't play a part. I didn't say. I just said that I feel like it was it. But I still say at the end of the day, Halliburton and Jalen Brunson were playing about around the same amount of time. You still had having a little struggles over there in New York City.
The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the hosts are for entertainment purposes only and do not necessarily reflect those of RJV Media Lab, Inc., its affiliates, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Them boys ain't cutting up.
Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
children of all ages, welcome.
How y'all doing?
To another illustrious episode of Cutting Up with Elroy and your boy D in the place to be. And like we always say, man, like, click, share, and subscribe and cut your notifications on so you know when we cutting up. Well, then, my boy.
I don't know it.
Tell me something, how you doing, my boy?
Man, you know the usual, blessed and highly favored.
That's the best way to be, my boy. That's the best way to be, my boy.
Want to give a quick shout out to my boy in the background making everything happen.
See murder.
See murder on the ones and the twos.
RBJ Media Lab.
That's right. Say it one more time.
RBJ Media Lab. Right. One. That ain't it? RJV. See, my mind is gone today, bro. I said we was up a score. I was down a score, bro. But my mind backwards today, bro.
That's why you need to slow down.
My mind backwards, bro.
Yeah, you be on that.
I ain't gonna never slow down. I slow down when I fall down.
Yeah.
We gonna still keep it 100 miles an hour. So what you got on your mind today, my boy?
I mean, we can jump into a little WNBA. We can jump into a little NBA.
Hey, whatever
talk a little baseball. You know, whatever you want to get your feet wet in.
Well, we can go and jump into it, man, into the old NBA action. Now, Celtics. We had a great run. Jason, big ups and big prayers, my boy. Didn't know you had Jalen, you had a torn meniscus. Didn't know you were playing through that. Hey, prayers up to you as well. But great run, guys. Tatum never missed the playoffs throughout your run. I think it's about 5 or 6 Eastern Conference Finals. You know, no player since you've been drafted has played more, or I think played more minutes or played more playoff games than you. So I definitely give a big shout out to you, my guy. Big prayers. But the Celtics, as we know it, has come to an end.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, man. But I'm gonna just say this, man. It was a historical, terrible shooting. And what I'll always say this, and I know people don't like me to say it. Do I think we lost? I think we lost the series more than New York winning it. Because I'm always gonna say, you know, with the historical shooting that we didn't have, hey, it is what it was. Didn't get much from Porzingis, you know what I mean? I guess whatever illness he had. And it is what it is, man, you know. On to the next season. We'll see what we come back with. But we do have a Eastern Conference Finals set up that will be the New York against the Indiana Pacers. Go Pacers, because I hate the Knicks. I'm going to always hate the Knicks. Why? Because I am a Boston fan. So it's the New York against the Indiana Pacers. Who you got, my brother?
Knicks.
In
7.
And what gives you that?
Now,
what makes you get? What when you come up with that?
Let me just say this. I'm pulling for New York.
Okay.
But I think Indiana is the better team. And I think they're the better team because they play team ball. You see a lot of ISO ball with New York. New York is at their best when they are swinging the ball around and playing team ball and everybody's hot. Of course, that goes with everybody. But right now, be that as it may, Indiana has been playing the best basketball in the East in the playoffs on the low. So, I mean, when you have a superstar like Hallenberg that doesn't mind not being a superstar, he doesn't mind passing it to the hot man or, you know, the making the right play. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not all about getting yours. You know what I mean? So that's the thing with Indiana that I think they have an edge on, one, and then two, we all know Tom Thibodeau is not going to play everybody. He's only going to go like 7 deep, whether Indiana is going to go 9, 10. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's a big difference, you know, and it's only so long where New York is going to be able to keep playing the few players that they're playing and think that they're going to be able to go far. And see, I'm looking at the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at the better matchup of be Indiana versus somebody out west.
Right.
Because both teams out west are deep as well. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it from a different standpoint, New York is New York, in my opinion, New York and Minnesota will be the money game. Because that's the trade that made it everything possible.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Now
Big Cat going to New York,
Randall
going to Minnesota. Then you got Brunson versus Ant-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, New York is money. Like, all the stars are gonna show up and show out. And Minnesota is a bigger market, in my opinion, than OKC.
Yeah, OKC
So,
got the smallest market.
It's
the smallest market.
Yeah, it just all depends on how you look at it, D. You know what I mean?
Now with me, I definitely believe, and I'm agree with you when you're saying Indiana was playing were playing the best ball in the East by far. Because again, like I said about the Celtics, I think that Boston lost the series rather than New York. You know, that was the beneficial of Boston bad play. I don't think they did anything special to win it. They just played and just stayed in the game, which you're supposed to be as a competitor. But I do believe that, and on my side, I believe that it'll be a better game with Indiana and OKC. And it's not even about the market; it's just about the who and what they want to see. And because definitely the better matchup because you have bigger guards on both sides. And I do believe that Minnesota will be the bigger team, but they don't play from the outside in; they play from the inside. They'll play from the outside in; they play from the inside out. So I do think that Indiana will win against New York because even though New York jumped out on them last when they played the second round last season, they did go 7 last season, if I'm not mistaken, because they played the second round because Brunson ended up getting hurt. I think he got hurt in game 4 or game 5 or something like that. So I do believe that Indiana will take that series. Now the other series, I'm gonna be honest with you, is gonna be a toss up. Now I don't know who I'm gonna take on that side. Now I would like to see Minnesota take it, honestly. But I don't know who's going to take that one. I think whichever one of the stars play the best, like if Ant-Man plays the best or Shea plays the best, I don't think that'll end up with that matchup.
I don't even think it has anything to do with the superstar. I think it has something to do with the supporting cast and each final.
Oh, yeah, that's no doubt.
So it's like we know Brunson gonna get his. We know Hallenberg gonna get his. We know Shea gonna get his. We know Ant-Man gonna get his. But in these series it all revolves around the people around them and how the pieces around them are going to play. Is Rudy Gobert gonna play, or is he gonna let OKC center do what he want to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they actually play a center type of player, even if he's not a big guy.
No, he's a center.
Yeah,
he's a center.
He's
He's a 7-footer. He just don't play like a center.
I think he like right at 6'11". I think he a KD type of 7-footer. But I think KD is You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah, he's
legit
7
7-footer. But I do believe that I do believe with you when you're saying about it being the others. You know what I mean? More
Yeah,
or less
like Julius Randle is the X factor in my opinion. Cause my
for
thing,
them.
yeah,
I
cause
think
my
it's Nas
thing,
Reed though.
what player are you gonna see? What player is gonna show up? Is it gonna be the Julius Randle that's gonna foul out? Is it gonna be the Julius Randle that doesn't show up and
Inefficient?
Only gives you like 8 points and 10 rebounds, but a lot of turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Like, what Julius Randle are you going to get? Personally, like, I like Minnesota more because at the end of the day, I think they have way more experience. You have veterans on Minnesota's team that have been in the game for a while, and they should be hungry. Like, you know,
Mike Conley.
and none of them been this far. Mike Conley, Roundel, or
they was actually in the they was in the Western Conference Finals last year. It's their second year in a row. 'Cause remember they played Dallas and Dallas beat them.
Minnesota,
that gives them the more experience and repping that because they were actually in the Western Conference Finals last year and took a loss. So definitely give them some momentum.
And I'm a firm believer that teams need to actually learn how to get over the hump when it comes to each levels of success that they meet. You know what I'm saying? Like Shea now been playing good for the second, maybe third year, but like this is the furthest they've been. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the ball is gonna get heavier. The pressure is more fierce.
No doubt.
And it's like man.
Yeah, I look at them as how we looked when my team was when Boston was younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It takes a while.
It took a while.
It took them like 4 years to get to that championship.
I think we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it was maybe year three or year 4, and I think that was their second or third year together because we got one before the other. We got Jaylen Brown, then got Tatum. So I definitely believe that this will be Shea's learning year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, I don't think they'll get to the finals. You know what I mean? I do think Minnesota gets this one. He'll get the MVP. That's why I think they held off the MVP. I thought they would announce it already, but I think they was waiting to see who was going to win between that head-to-head matchup because it was basically down to them two on the MVP. So I think that's why they held it off. He'll get the MVP, similar to how we had with in football with what's your boy? Quarterback got the MVP this year. Allen.
Oh, Josh.
Josh Allen. This was his learning year. Didn't go far, but you got the MVP. You know what I mean? I think it's something like that, and it'll give them more motivation to keep on coming back because they definitely a young team. You know what I mean? They're still making moves, and we'll just see how that one go. But I'm gonna go for Minnesota on that one.
So you saying Minnesota, Indiana?
Yeah, I got Minnesota, Indiana on that one.
Like I said, I can't argue with it, but it's just when you look at it, man. Like I know that New York doesn't play as many players as they could or should. But it's just something about playing in the Garden and you got all those people behind you rooting you on. Like New York was down to the Celtics like 30 points and they cheered them on to make it a respectable game. I think y'all ended up winning that game like 20 points, 18, something like that. But y'all were up like 35 and they walked it down. They could have had a chance to bring it even closer, but it's more or less like they ran out of gas. But it's just when you get that home field advantage, it's like you can go to OKC and they can part off each section and have it white and blue. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to Minnesota and Ant-Man can dunk on you, but it's still not gonna give you that same aura. Indiana, Lord knows, it might be loud, but it's Indiana. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
it's still a basketball state. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it ain't New York.
York?
Yeah, Madison Square Garden. That's
Madison Square,
that's
and you got all these stars and all these fans that are hungry, haven't been this far
in 25 years.
Since like
99.
Spreewell and them.
99.
Yeah. So it's like, man, like I don't know, man. It's scary. Like I say, Indiana, man, I can see New York protecting their house. I can see New York got home field advantage, right? I can see New York at least losing maybe one game at home, right?
Right.
Winning the other 3. But I can also see them stealing one in Indiana because of if you keep the game close, we all know what's going to happen.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to give this man some props, and I guess I probably wouldn't do it before this year. But if we talking clutch this playoffs, I'm going to give it to Halliburton over my boy. Because I done saw Halliburton win a couple
I could go over there. You said playoffs, yeah.
Just this playoff, because I think Halliburton has been playing.
If you saying
better.
this year, though.
I'm talking about playoffs.
If
just
you
pure playoffs.
I'm just saying, though, but yeah, you can say playoffs, too.
That's what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about playoffs.
Yeah, but you can say that, too, justify your love, but this guy here is the most clutch shooter in the NBA, period, right now.
Because the only reason he's going to get clutch shooter because he is the only shooter on their team, and he have to get him the ball.
Only shooter. He's probably the best, but he's not the only.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. The thing is that they have circled it. They're building a team around him. So he's gonna get that by de facto. Why? Because the ball is always going to be in his hands. They're never going to give it to Cat at the end.
But either way it go, that's a
You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, if you take the numbers, you on the losing end because everybody gonna go with Brunson when it comes to that. Like Game 7, game on the line, and both of them got an opportunity to take the lead. It might be a tie or a 1-point game going each way. Shit, Hallenberg is a bad man.
I done seen him took out 2 game 6. A game I think was game 5 and game 6 at the buzzer step back 2 times.
Yeah.
So that's why
Brunson too. Brunson did more though.
Look, now this
like
playoffs, he ain't. The reason why I say that is
you
this.
keep going to playoffs to make yourself right.
Yeah, because we talking about the playoffs. We can't go in until to the regular season.
Yes, we can, because at the end of the day, D, he done did it more, period. You just saying playoffs. Yes, Hallenberg might have more game winners in the playoffs. Yeah, I give you that.
So are we in the regular season or are we in the playoffs?
At the end of the day, you still got a person that's been doing it more.
At
the
regular
end
season,
of the day, ain't no diff.
It's a total difference.
No, it's not.
So let me ask you this. So you believe that Brunson hit a game in game 40 when nobody cares. Who cares? But you believe Halliburton hit a game to seal a series on game 2? That's the same?
He missed the clutch, bro. At the end of the day.
No, I'm going to ask you a question.
At the end of the day, he's missed the clutch, man.
In the playoffs.
He is the most clutch player in the NBA.
In the regular season.
In the NBA.
In the regular season.
However way you want to do it.
That's what, when you get the, okay.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, y'all take y'all votes. Who you got in winning the game? Hallenberg or Brunson? And I know who y'all with.
And at the end of the day, I would like, ladies and gentlemen, to take in account of 2 things. Everything can be true. 2 things can be true at the same time. Jalen Brunson, am I taking anything away from him being a great player? No, not a thing. But I know what I've been watching over the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. And when it came down to the end of games and they had to hit a shot, because I watched this man I watched Halliburton take Giannis off the dribble and put it in his mug, had his daddy on the court, and Giannis mug like, what? I ain't seen Jalen Brunson daddy out there because he ain't putting nothing in nobody's mug. Not like that. I also saw him drop that 3 at like 1 point some seconds on the clock. Pew! To put him up. Hadn't been out the only thing they were up the whole game or something like that. But I saw Halliburton do it. Now, I'm not taking away, like I said, nothing from Jalen Brunson, but I do believe he's a great regular season player. Why? That's why he had never been this far. Indiana has. Indiana made it here last year. This is their second Eastern Conference Finals in a row, just
that's
like
not
us.
Fair. They were hurt last year. Don't do that.
I don't care if
that's
you.
That's not fair.
Now we both.
He was hurt.
Now we both.
Don't say you don't care because you just said Boston lost because of them being hurt. That's how you started the conversation. Now, so injuries do play a part.
I didn't say it didn't play a part. I just said that what I feel like it was it. But I still say at the end of the day, Halliburton and Jalen Brunson were playing about around the same amount of time. You still had having a little struggles over there in New York City. That's why.
Because of injuries?
That still don't make a difference. Because he a little bitty guy. He a little bitty. Just little. You know what I mean? When you do all that bumping and stuff like that as a little guy, and you hit that floor a lot, you're going to take a little bumps and bruises, so you got to expect that. You know what I mean? So that's his biggest thing because he like to play amongst the big guys. And you play amongst the big guys, you got to do big boy things. And he in the big boy time, so we're going to see what they do, man. But I like Halliburton. And the reason why I like Halliburton because I think Indiana has a little bit more experience in this part of the game because they actually have a champion on their team, which is Siakam. So people forget about Siakam was one of the was a pivotal contributor over there with Kawhi Leonard and Van Fleet in Toronto when they went on their 1-year run for that championship. So with Siakam, being with that experience, and with Halliburton, being in his young dog days, you know what I mean, ready to, definitely hungry to get that respect because he definitely feels disrespected because no one actually gives him that props. Just like how a lot of people feel like Jalen Brunson is the most clutch player based on the numbers, but it's definitely going to be a great series to watch, man. And I got Indiana. You said you got what? New York and
Seal.
Indiana at 5.
Minnesota and 6.
I'm gonna echo that one, Minnesota. I'm gonna go with that one. I agree with you on that one because I don't think.
What you said that for?
I said Indiana at 5.
You're a disrespectful ninja.
No, I've been watching them. I just don't. So let me ask you this:
you think all they gonna get is one game?
And there's no disrespect. Listen, no. Let me tell you what. I'm only gonna go by your resume. I'm not just. This ain't got to do with my heart. What I'm saying is that I watch Indiana beat the teams they played. It wasn't beneficial of nothing. They beat them. I just believe, with me from my side, and it may be my heart talking, that because we had a historical miss, we shot 100 threes and missed 75 of them. That's historical. Whether it's bad on my side or well, because they were jump shots. They wasn't like contested shots, but it is what it is. But I believe that Indiana were beating their teams, and I think New York was beneficial of a historical shooting performance on the negative end from Boston. So that's the only reason I believe that, because I think Indiana goes in there and get both of them. Just like how that series went with them against us, I think they're going to get it on the backside of them. Because I think Indiana goes in there and get both of those in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the Cleveland series? Did you watch them play Cleveland?
Man, everybody was hurt in the Cleveland series except for what's his name, man? Stop.
They played?
They didn't play in the first 2 games.
Oh, they missed the first one.
They missed the first 2 games, bro. Hunter and the other 2 guys did not come until game 2, bro.
They played game 2. They played game 2. Yeah, they missed the first game and played game 2.
No, game 3. They missed the first 2
games.
They missed the first 2. They missed the first 2 games. And then they didn't play nobody for real in the first round. I'm listening at you now, but they ain't played nobody for real. Like, they beat who they beat now.
Who?
Talking about Indiana. But they beat some beat up teams already. Miami, bro. Miami. And then Cleveland
Cleveland was your number 1 team in the East.
But they did not have 3 of their starters, G.
They played. What I'm trying to tell you, they played game 2.
And then their leader ended up getting hurt and didn't play in the game or 2.
So yeah. So I just say it's this right here, man. At the end of the day, I'm not going to take nothing away from whatever they're saying, because just like Dre, I'm going to tell you, I don't really give this man no problem. But he said a smart thing on them. He said, we won a series. They won a series when Kevin Love and Kyrie got hurt. They were the beneficial of it.
He's in the game.
Right? But they also lost this series this year, feel like, because Steph got hurt. So, of course, the injuries play on both sides. I just think this year, if we'll say that they've been a beneficiary of some injuries, okay, we'll say that. But we'll also say New York has been beneficial of some injuries as well. We can definitely say that. So that's why I can say both of them are very beneficial, because you had Porzingis that had been sick. We ain't getting nothing out of him. Then you had the other 2 best players that was out. And guess what? So think about this. And I'm going to ask you this. And I want you to give me a reason behind this. With the New York series, New York was down. We played 6 games. New York was down 20 points in 5 of the 6 games. How can you be that confident to say a team going to beat a team, being that they were down 20 points in 5 of the 6 games they played?
Because they never stopped playing.
Right. They
go both ways. Like, yeah, they missed shots, but yeah, they were playing defense. Yeah, they missed shots, wide open shots, but at the end of the day, they made shots to come back from that 20-point deficit.
Right.
So you just can't say that just because they were down 20 points in so many games that they ain't good enough to win the East. Like, that's just the way. No, that's the way the ball bounces, bro. You can't say that, G.
But I can definitely say that there's no other team that you can say that was in any other series that was down 20 points in all the games they played.
What that mean, though, D? They in the Eastern Conference Finals still, though.
Right. So do you believe that it's a beneficial ride? So that can be true as well. That's all the thing I'm saying. If we were beneficial in reference to that, also, think about this. They had to miss a historical amount of shots, and your best two players had to get hurt for them to get by in 6. They had to miss 100 threes, over 100 threes in 5 games, and the best two players hurt just to win in 6. So you finna go and play against a fully healthy Indiana team.
Okay, but what are you saying, G? At the end of the day, Indiana did the same thing to get to where they at. You bragging on the team that did the same thing that the team I'm pulling for did. No. Indiana won because of Cleveland not being 100%.
I'm agreeing on both sides. I just still say that I feel like Indiana playing the best, like you agreed me saying that.
Yeah, but we can say Indiana playing the best.
That's it.
But they might be playing the best because of who they done played and how they play, who they played. See, if you play a team that ain't got nobody, Jimmy Butler gone, and you trying to make a third type of star, the man down there in Miami. You did what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they should have been whooped them. Then you come back and you play Cleveland. I didn't even know they had so many people out.
Who?
They had Cleveland.
They had
3 starters out.
Yeah, I know, like Hunter,
one off the bench,
and Darius Garland, and
it was another one. But yes,
they had a bunch of players that was out. I'm not gonna take that away.
At the end of the day, just think, if they didn't have all those players out, Cleveland might have beat Indiana in 7 games, though. That's all I'm saying. Like, they both have gotten to the same place. But I have more respect for New York because at the end of the day, yes, you weren't at your best. I don't know what's going on in the locker room. Y'all were actually hurt, too. You feel me? I felt the series was over when Tatum went down because I felt that the team is built for both players to be on that floor. The team is built around Brown and Tatum. Now, one of them being on the floor, y'all still good enough to actually be 80% of the NBA. You know what I'm saying? But be that as it may, like, New York playing hard, man.
Bro.
They playing hard.
I understand they playing hard, bro, but still at this. Think about what you're saying. Indiana still playing best, but they playing the best. Dominated Cleveland. So think about this. Even with 2 players being hurt and a historical shooting, a bad shooting for the other team, you still almost lost. So I guess even though...
But you keep saying that, but they played defense too. It wasn't just the fact that y'all just missing a whole bunch of wide.
Bro, that's all we missed was wide open shots, bro. If you go back and watch the tape, I can show you probably 30.
Y'all miss a bunch of wide open bad shots because there's a lot of times I can recall Brown, Tatum, and what's the other guy that you got from Milwaukee? All of them coming down and just jacking it up.
That's the game. That's how New York got us was transition threes because they couldn't stop our half-court defense. That's when they started coming back on us when we was not making them take the ball.
So
out of the
who
bucket.
fault that is? Y'all playing in their hands,
right? So
that's
I agree.
My point.
I'm agreeing with you.
That ain't just the fact of y'all boo-booing.
Yes, it's purely us boo-booing.
No, not y'all. Might have been playing in the hands of what they wanted y'all to actually do.
Right, and that's continue to jack threes up so they could come back.
Okay, so you played into the hands of their defense, D. That's something that they were helping you to do.
No, it's our game.
It ain't just y'all.
That's our game.
Okay.
Am I right?
That is y'all game.
Right.
But if your game ain't working, that's all y'all a one-trick pony?
I'm agree. Just like this New York.
Are y'all a one-trick pony?
Everybody is.
No, not everybody.
Everybody shoot threes in New York is a one-trick pony. That's why they only have Jalen Brunson.
Everybody's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah, the whole NBA shoots threes, man. Come on.
But if their
It's
threes,
not just Boston.
But if their three's not on, that ain't the only thing they can do. Some people can actually go inside out. Some people say, you know what, my three ain't working, so I'm gonna go to the hole.
Name me a couple of them outside of Oklahoma City and probably maybe Denver. Everybody else still shoot it. That's why
everybody's shooting
home.
it. But at the end of the day, if the shot ain't falling, they still ain't jacking it up. They still trying to find another way to get points, bruh.
Everybody still shoots shots. But my thing is, the end of the day, I totally understand what you're saying. But if I'm just watching the team and I watched it, the reason why this team won, not really because they actually did a lot. It's that actually we didn't change our game. We got, I don't know what Missoula was thinking. Oh, well, whatever that is, water on the bridge. Be that as it may. The only thing I'm saying is that, with that being said, if Boston doesn't do that, even with the injuries, New York does not win the series. That's the only point. That's why I say that they haven't been playing such an illustrious game. They've been a beneficial of an offense that was tailored to lose a lead with the way it's played. So if they would have just changed the offense, we wouldn't be talking about New York, even though we started with a loss because we're so hurt. Be that as it may as well. But I just believe that Indiana as a team has been playing, even though they played an injured team as well, I just still think that they're playing a little bit better at the time. You know what I mean? Not saying New York is playing bad or anything like that. I just feel like Indiana just look a little better. That's it. But like I said, we got our picks in, and we'll see where they go. You know what I mean? So, now I know you said something about some wrestling, bro. What you got going on?
Ain't nothing going on.
Ain't nothing going on, man. What you got?
No, ain't nothing going on. We just had another pay-per-view, but
Who ain't no belt change, man?
No, still the same.
I don't be seeing the purpose of a pay-per-view and don't do damn belts change hands, bro.
Man, but
do the matches, okay, let me say this, because you giving me information. Do the matches be, like, worth it? Like, you still feel, even though the title get retained, do you still feel like, man, that was a good match?
When they have pay-per-views for wrestling,
all right,
pay-per-view events for wrestling is more or less like a playoff game for basketball, football, or baseball.
Is it like game 1 or game 7?
All of them are game 7s.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole beauty about wrestling. It's gonna be at least half of the card that you're gonna want to see.
Okay.
And it's gonna be something that's gonna make you. It's gonna be, you know how you can be like, well, I know such and such gonna win this fight.
Right.
But when it comes to pay-per-views now, it's more or less like something happens to make you kind of like be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, to make this
is
guy.
Is it like outside appearance or just like
anything
somebody from the outside?
Yeah, most of the time it's somebody that hasn't been wrestling in a while.
Okay.
Somebody that has come from another company. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's just a big shock. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, where did he come from? Oh, that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the pay-per-views is the big money. That's where you get your check. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what makes wrestling so hard, because you're doing it every week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2-3 times a week. They still doing the watch it where you can watch it for free on like the WWE Pass or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I know my
that's when
my
you
nephew
got
used
the
to be on
actual
that.
network.
Yeah, when you get the WWE network, you get to watch all the pay-per-views and stuff for free and stuff like that.
Everything.
Yeah.
Wrestling is what it is now.
Be in Birmingham soon, right?
Yeah, July the 11th.
Okay, that SmackDown
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw. Okay, yeah, Monday Night Raw. You said what, the 11th?
July the 11th.
July the 11th.
July the 11th.
Okay, Monday Night Raw.
Back in Birmingham.
So is it any big matches already announced for that day? No. Or does everything kind of lead up each week?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? To get to that point.
So it's like you're going to have a pay-per-view at least once a month.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or once every 2 months. So it's like, I would say once every 2 months. So it's like you just had Backlash. So I don't know what the next pay-per-view is gonna be, but it's gonna be either before or after the next pay-per-view. So, either way it goes, it's gonna be hype. You know what I mean? Starting a new storyline, got a new champ, trying to retain the belt, John Cena. And you got a lot of people coming at him because he's turned into a heel, which means a bad guy.
Okay, so he doing the NWO Hulk Hogan thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Because didn't nobody really see it coming.
Okay. Yeah, same thing with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that was a big deal too. You know what I mean? And it definitely lengthens out their career, you know what I mean? Because that, be so shocking to the kids, you know what I mean? And also some of the adults as well, and it keeps the storyline smooth, you know what I mean? Something new. So yeah, man. That's what's up, bro.
Now, we're gonna move over to this MLB. I got a question to ask you. You are a Red Sox fan. I am a Yankees fan. What do you see yourself? Like, what do you think that you need?
Everything. Jeez.
Really?
I don't like my batting lineup is watered down. You know what I mean? We didn't put much into the lineup. You know what I mean? We've been getting pitching, trying to get younger and stuff like that. So I think we rebuilding. Honestly, I feel them rebuilding right now.
Me personally, I think we're at a standstill.
But y'all always got to stay at the top, though, because y'all New York, though. Because y'all spend enough money to stay at the top or competitive.
No, let's just say competitive.
You see what I'm saying?
Right now, we're leading the division, but the thing about it is, it's like, bro, our pitching is poo-pie because it's top heavy. Once you get past like the first 2-3 pitches, it's like no man's land. You're depending on nothing but the batting, the hitting.
Basically.
And the thing about it is, when it comes to our hitting, I'm a fan of the Yankees, but I'm not a fan of the big time home run hitter.
The Babe Ruths.
Exactly, because the thing about it is, we're going after Babe Ruth players that can only hit home runs. It's like, I need for you to hit the gap sometimes. I need for you to be able to get on base, not go for the home run every time. Because it's like, once the playoffs start, Aaron Judge is no more. It's like, he can get us to the playoffs and he can get us in a good position where we're not a wild card. We might get a series at home. But in the playoffs, man, they're not giving you what they're giving you in the regular season.
Some of the pitches.
Yeah, the pitches. So it's like, man, they throwing a lot to the outside. They throwing a lot to the dirt. And when you're a hitter and you're used to like swinging like he is, you get a lot of strikeouts.
No doubt.
Now you're starting to get balls and strikes confused. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you get frustrated because now you got to get walked, but at least you're on base. You know what I mean? Like,
But I will say though, bro, and this to his defense, and I've been watching this over the last couple of years. Excuse me, but these fucking umpires are getting terrible, bro. I don't know if you've been because I don't know the most egregious one was Angel Hernandez. They made him retire.
But look, bro, look.
They got they got a report.
I understand what you're saying, but it's deeper than the Blues. It's Major League Baseball themselves. Like, if you know that your umpires aren't equipped to see this ball and how fast it's leaving this pitcher's hand to the point where you can't really see if it hit the corner of the plate, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell if it hit the actual strike zone for real.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they implemented
that little thing
to be able to have instant replay. And it's like, when it comes to these umpires, it's like they so headstrong, is they call or no call. And I think it starts with the head. It starts with the actual organization of the MLB. And I think if they step in, like, things will be better. I think that the American style of ball play has hindered us.
Yeah, because we don't have your best players aren't American.
No, what I mean by that is this. What I mean by that is this. I feel that we would have way more athletic baseball players to play the game if we were allowed to play the game like other countries do.
What you mean?
See, other countries show showmanship. So pretty much where the players celebrating or doing a little extra stuff like stealing more, bunting more, things to make the game a little bit more exciting.
You know that's manager based though. You know, when you call for the bunt and all that kind of stuff.
I understand, but all of it is manager based. You know so that's what I'm saying. Like if you allow these people to play more like what they did in the Negro Leagues, what they did more over in Cuba, Japan, other countries where they allowed the players to actually have fun. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll allow more people to be more interested in going to the games as well as watching the games as well as playing the game.
I think they need to shorten the season. I just think it's too many games. You know what I mean? Because it's too many games for people. I think for people to kind of watch it all season. Over 100 games, you're not going to stay into that.
162.
You see what I'm saying? Bro, I'm not even watching but the last like 40. You know what I mean?
But you can't say that if you're not only a fan of the sport, but a fan of this team, though.
Yeah, if you a baseball, if you were like a baseball player,
fan, then you understand the way it go. But even if you have I'm a baseball fan, but I keep up with everything that's going on right now, but I really don't sit down and watch games until All-Star weekend. I will watch the All-Star game. I will watch everything that they're talking about when it comes to who's doing what in what conference and what division, and that's when I really like zone in because that's when everybody's like jockeying for position. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make the playoffs. So, you know, I watch the halfway point because it's interesting once they get halfway, G.
I think with me, I go a little bit deeper than I do watch All-Star, you know what I mean, home run derby and stuff like that. But I think I go a little deeper. I think I go like 2 or 3 weeks after that until I get into it. I'm definitely watching everything in the playoffs. You know what I mean? I can watch playoff baseball. There's no problem. But I think just give an example, even with basketball. That's 82 games. We know we're not watching. You're going to watch some of the pivotal games, you know what I mean? Like early season matchups, you know what I mean? Just like football this season. First game of the season. Can't wait to see the Cowboys in against y'all. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know y'all probably will be, but I want to see the game. You know what I mean? So you have pivotal matchups like that'll come up that you'll watch. But I think if they, you know, even maybe add some of that stuff like they be doing like the banana, you see the banana league? Like stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think if you let them do kind of like stuff like that, you know what I mean? It makes it fun for the fans. It gives the fans something
but
kind of, you know what I mean?
I don't think it's more or less about the fans because if you're a fan, you're a fan. I think it's more or less about the camaraderie between the players, you know what I'm saying, the showmanship. You know what I mean? Like what's wrong with hitting a home run
and looking at it? Did you see what that umpire did to that kid in college?
It's disrespectful in a pitcher's eyesight because he just burnt them, but at the end of the day, it's still a good play for the opposing team. So it's like certain things, man. Like the thing, like this here. This is what I really want to talk about. Major League Baseball. Like, at the end of the day, my biggest gripe, and I want to talk to you about this, like, we all know that the man cheated. Talking about Mr. Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose. I think that's the lowest, unclassest thing that they could have ever done.
Well, let him in?
No. Not let him in, D, but wait until the man died before you put him in. You could have allowed this. Look, when you found out this man, because I know you knew, when you found out that this man was on his deathbed, man, you could have put him in so he can see himself being inducted before he left. You understand?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm with
That's just low down and just pure classless. Like
I do the same thing to Barry Bonds.
I understand that, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's a rule that you're banned for life. But at the end of the day, you knew his life was at end. You knew that he was up.
I see what you're saying. Even though
like you could have at least. I understand he's not gonna reap nothing off of it.
Let him have a ceremony,
but it ain't even got to be no damn ceremony. Just look, send the letter to the house. You let the family read it to him while he's in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But at least let this man know and let him witness himself. Because like they said on ESPN, the first thing you see when you go to the MLB Hall of Fame, when you walk in the door, Charlie Hustle and all his accomplishments.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you making money off him and what he done did. You making money off jersey sales and all the stuff that he did when it come to stealing bases and all that. But you couldn't allow this man
to see it
right before he left this earth.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that was deep.
That's more than deep.
Yeah, that's deep, bro.
That's hurt. That hurt there, man.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I said they're gonna do the same thing to Barry Bonds too. Mark McGuire, they're gonna do all of them. I promise you, they're gonna do all them boys that's under there right there. Salmon Sosa, all of them. They're gonna
the Rocky,
all of them.
Yep.
They're gonna do it the same way. Watch it.
Well, they shouldn't
But
because that was the steroid era, and they knew that they was on steroids.
They knew
Everybody knew.
Everything.
Man, ain't nobody hit a baseball out of San Francisco Giants Stadium since Barry Bonds.
Man, fuck that. Do you remember that nigga hitting that boy about
in the ocean, the Pacific Ocean?
I'm talking about Detroit. You remember Detroit, the old stadium with the triple deck?
Oh yeah.
What stop?
No, that was Big Cecil Fielder was doing that too.
You feel me? Okay, yeah. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a end of another episode of Cutting Up. And if you guys have any comments or anything based on anything we said today, drop a like and a comment at the bottom, and we'll jump in with you, and we can, go back and forth on
and please don't forget about the question of the week. Who are you taking for that last minute shot?
Jalen Brunson or
Tyrese Halliburton?
And again, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, and subscribe. Cut your notifications on so you will know when we are about to cut up with your folk. And before you get up out of here, man, before we get up out of here, you got anything else, my boy?
Nah, man, just, at the end of the day, hope everybody's able to have a blessed, prosperous week.
No doubt. And all prayers to the people out there in St. Louis took that tornado, man. We had some damage on this side, on the east side for real, in Birmingham for real.
Yeah.
So all prayers for everybody who had that tornado and their lives lost.
Yeah, I heard it hit Tennessee very bad, too.
It hit up hard up in that area, man. So prayers to all the families and people that had those, any losses in that area that took that storm damage recently. So prayers for us. And again, you guys have a great week. And until next week.
One more thing. Congratulations to Coach Nick Sirianni.
On
extension.
Oh.
Contract extension.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Go Birds.
Who cares? But again, man, another good episode, man. If nothing else, man, y'all have a great week and y'all keep going, man. 100.
Peace.
Yeah.
Them boys, they cutting up.